Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Demetria. If you are new here, if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. And today's video is going to be a tad bit different than what I'm customary to. Sorry, I wanted to just turn off my phone because I'm going to be using my phone in this video, so I don't want it to be going off. But I just wanted to kind of sit down and have a little chit chat with you all about something that I've been dealing with. I want to preface this by saying that I am not doing this for any purpose than just being transparent. My channel is called Daily Dose of D, and I have been hiding a lot of the daily things that I have been dealing with on a day-to-day basis, and it's time that that stops. The purpose of this video is for me to share something that I have been dealing with in private on a more public forum, but with hopes that this video will help others become aware of the situation that I'm currently in. So with that being said, let me start off this video by saying thank you guys for coming back for another one. Sorry, this is not a beauty unboxing, perfume, or anything like that. This is a lifestyle video because it is my life that's you know, has been affected by this situation, and for that purpose is why we're going to be talking about my medical condition. So I'm really nervous, and it's because I'm not vulnerable. I don't like, I guess, dumping, if you will, on people. So this is something that's very personal, and I'm going to try to share without oversharing because I just don't want everything out on the internet, and I hope that you guys can understand that and respect that. But more importantly, you know, I hope that somebody watching this video could be helped by this video. And with that being said, we're going to just jump right into it. January of 2021, I was diagnosed with a form of cancer, and the name of the cancer is called multiple myeloma. Now, this is something that I have never heard of outside of seeing a commercial, and I don't know if you guys even recall the commercial. It's a African-American gentleman. He's kind of sitting in the dark. His voice is deep and heavy, and he talks about this disease in that commercial. I know no one that is suffering from this disease. So multiple myeloma, and I'm going to read some things really quickly to you, and then we're going to talk about how this came about. Multiple myeloma is rare, fewer than 200,000 US cases per year. This is a cancer of the plasma cells. The plasma cells are a type of white blood cell in the bone marrow. With this condition, a group of plasma cells becomes cancerous and multiplies. The disease can damage bones, immune system, kidneys, and red blood cell count. So, who is most affected by multiple myeloma? Myeloma occurs mostly in people over 60, which is common. The average age of diagnosis is 70. Only 2% of cases occur in people under 40. That just goes to show you how rare this disease is. What ethnicity is affected by multiple myeloma? Multiple myeloma is a rare plasma cell cancer, and its cancer rate is among patients of African American descent are about twice those among patients of European descent. Rates of multiple myeloma vary among different populations, but the reason for the racial disparity is multiple myeloma are largely unknown. So let's talk. I am a woman of a certain age. I do not fit any one of those two brackets. So for me to have it is a very rare occasion. And quite scary, seeing that prior to diagnosis, I was seemingly healthy. So let me give you some backstory. 2020, 2019, 2018, I'm physical, working out 5 days a week, 6 days a week, sometimes twice a day. No issues. I'm Zoom training in 2020 because, of course, we were locked down with the pandemic. So I kept personal training through Zoom courses. Probably about April, May of 2020, I did notice some things that I ignored, or I wouldn't say I ignored, I attributed to my lifestyle at the time. Very, very busy, 2-a-day workouts, you know, working here and there, things of that nature. So I just kind of felt like in Zoom training, I kind of just felt like that I was burnt out. I wasn't giving myself enough time to rest and recover between workouts and things of that nature. So I kept pushing through. I would sleep when I was tired, and I was fine. No issues, no problems. So I want to say probably about August, September, I became really tired. So I thought, let me revisit my nutritional intake. And maybe I'm not getting enough of this. Maybe I'm not getting enough of that. Now, mind you, I've always been anemic. I've always had that as an issue. So I kind of felt like that was a part of the problem. Okay, no issues, no problem. It was probably about October where I felt like I just hit a wall. Now by this time, I pretty much have fell off my Zoom training. I was canceling the training more than my clients were canceling the training because of the whole dynamics with COVID-19 and people's work schedule, working from home. It was a lot of changes that were being made. So I had a lot of clients who couldn't work out, but nonetheless, those that were able to, I wasn't even really able to train them because I had just become very tired and lethargic. November of 2020, around Thanksgiving, it was actually the week of Thanksgiving, I was extraordinarily exhausted. For a split second, I thought maybe I was getting like the flu or I had COVID. The only thing was I didn't have any other symptom of the COVID nor the flu except exhaustion, the very beginning part of the week of Thanksgiving in 2020. I was preparing for a holiday dinner as I usually do, and I found myself just not having the energy to do it. But at this point, I was also mentally drained because I was so physically drained. I managed to push through, managed to make the meal for the holiday, Thanksgiving, with the help of my family. And the Sunday after Thanksgiving, I ended up going into the hospital because I started having chest pains Friday. The chest pains became progressively worse, and I struggled. I really was struggling to walk from, you know, my room to the living room or be in the kitchen or do activity, work out, vacuum, clean. You know, getting in and out of the shower was also a chore. Walking to and from. One second, guys. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. But so yeah, it just became really harsh, you know. So my boyfriend and I decided we need to go to the emergency room. So I went. And when I went, you know, they were asking me a series of questions. They COVID tested me, was negative. They were trying to figure out why I was having chest pains. The ER doctor did notice that I was anemic. And, you know, pretty much topped it up as the chest pains was from pneumonia that has set in. Now, mind you, I had pneumonia in 2019, and I had during the summertime, and then I got sick again in January of 2020. So it was kind of a little alarming that I was getting pneumonia back to back. Now, if you read on pneumonia, you don't have to. That's not what we're talking about. Once you get it, it does reoccur. It shouldn't have happened as often as it was, so it was a little confusing to me and kind of a little distressing that this doctor was saying that I had pneumonia again. So, okay, he sends me home. He sends me home with iron pills, told me to just get lots of rest, make sure that I'm drinking water, electrolytes, things of that nature, because I was a little dehydrated. I didn't have a fever. It was probably 2 days later, maybe 3. It had to be probably Wednesday or Thursday of the following week. I ended up back in the hospital. When I went back into the hospital again, I became to the point where I was struggling walking, and the chest pains were so bad. I didn't have an appetite. I wasn't sleeping. It was really bad. So of course they did all of these tests and x-rays and things of that nature, and, you know, basically was trying to figure out what was causing the chest pains. They were asking me, you know, different questions like, did I get in the car accident, things of that nature. So again, not finding anything. More importantly, my blood level was low. So he was like, it's probably the anemia is why you're so exhausted. And again, the ER doctor the second time goes, it's not pneumonia. Now, mind you, this is only a 4-day window that the first time I went, he said it was pneumonia to the second time. So what they decided to do was give me a blood transfusion, which I had never had in my life. So again, they do the transfusion. They send me home, you know, a follow-up with your general practitioner, things of that nature, until I went in for a third time. The third time was probably almost 8-9 days after the second time. And then that's when the ER doctor was really like scraping the barrel to try to figure out what was going on. I did a pelvic exam because they were trying to find out if I was bleeding internally and didn't know it, because in between the 3 visits, my blood level was dropping low. In fact, the 3rd time that I walked in there, the ER doctor was like, or couldn't even believe that I walked in there, because my blood level was like at a 4.0. It's not supposed to be that low. In fact, you should be falling out and laid out somewhere and severely in a very bad state. And I walked in there on my own recognizance, like no help. I had to be wheelchair, but I was alert. I was, I knew what was going on and things of that nature. They kept me for 2 days. They did all of these batteries of tests. They did batteries of blood work to then come back and say, we're going to look more into your blood because there has to be an underlying issue there. And in fact, they did. So the ER doctor said, I'm going to bring in a hematologist, which is a blood doctor, and I want him to also run some tests to try to figure out what was going on, and he did so. So the hematologist, in fact, is also an oncologist, which is a treating physician for people with cancer, who came in and said, we want to do a bone marrow biopsy. We think it may be something there, but we will only be able to tell if we do the bone marrow biopsy. Now, I had a bone marrow biopsy 6 years at this point prior to this, because I had passed out at work, and my general practitioner then was a little alarmed. In fact, one of the treating oncologists that I'm currently seeing was the same doctor. He thought it would have been what I'm dealing with now, which is the multiple myeloma. But however, with these doctors, they deal in numbers, so it wasn't there. Mathematically, it wasn't there. So I had to be monitored. But it was something that should have been on set, meaning I would have progressively worked up to it instead of me just kind of hitting the wall, which I had no problems, none whatsoever, until I hit the wall. So, they wanted to keep me to do the bone marrow biopsy, but I had knew from experience that it was an outpatient procedure. At this time, I'm just laying up in the hospital, no IVs, no anything. I'm around a bunch of sick people. It's not healthy. So the oncologist who came to visit me agreed that, you should go home. We'll schedule it the end of this week. Go get the bone marrow biopsy, and then we'll go from there. So this was early January. Mid-January. A week later, January 29th, is when the oncologist gave me a call. And that's when he definitively said that I was dealing with cancer, and it's called multiple myeloma. And here we are. Now, with his diagnosis and delivering the news, in that same conversation, it wasn't even 6 seconds later, he also said that I'm at a good position where at the end of a treatment plan, I will be in remission. And in that moment, it was, I can't say life and death, because I don't believe cancer is a death sentence. But in that moment, it gave me life on a whole different grand scale of things. Like, I always was a happy person. I always was a optimistic person. I'm never pessimistic. I never thought negative of anything. And even him telling me that I had cancer, I never went negative. I never questioned God. None of that. I cried mostly that day because of the fact that he told me I would be in remission at the end of my treatment. Now, mind you, today is August 4th. This is the first video ever, and the first time I will be talking about this outside of the people that I, had a conversation with about my condition. And this is the first of many videos that are to come on it, because with this type of cancer, it's a treatment plan, and it's a 3-step treatment plan. I am still currently in first step, and what that entails is I have to go to the doctor on a weekly basis. In the beginning, it was twice a week, and the very first week it was through IVs that I was administered my chemo. And then the week after is when my medication was approved to be given to me in an injection in my stomach. So that's been the case since then, going every week from February, because we started February 16th, to about May, where we was getting 2 injections a week, to now 1 injection a week. And then I have home chemo that I take. So I have medications that I have to take at home. A lot of medications, some of them are twice a day, some are once a day, some are Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then some are, every 14 days, and then I take like a week off. So that's where I'm currently at now with everything. I am actively in the process of starting second phase, and starting second phase would mean that I will have a bone marrow transplant. And I know you guys are probably looking at me and like, how are you on chemo and you have a head full of hair? Because this chemotherapy that I'm taking currently is not as strenuous. With this being a blood disease, it does not necessarily have to be the strenuous chemotherapy until second phase, because it's a blood disease. So any medication to offset it works best. And it's not the strongest chemo. However, when I get ready to go into second phase in about 6 weeks, to 8 weeks, 2 months, it will be the very harsh chemo. They're going to have to harvest my stem cells and things of that nature, and we'll get into that in the next video. But I will lose my hair, and this is all of my hair. I'm not nervous about that because hair will grow back. I'm just, you know, I guess when I go through that process, I'm going to look like what I'm going through. And that's going to be a reality check for my family, for even myself. Even though I'm physically going through it, it is going to be a reality check. But again, we'll go over second phase, because now that it's out there, I want to take you guys along, and I want to actually vlog it. I want you guys to be a part of it. But yeah, so we started the chemo in February, and I've been doing really good. It took a couple of months for me to get to a point where I started feeling that the treatment was working. In fact, let me just double back a little bit. The reason why my chest was hurting was because my blood level had dropped so low, my heart was overworking. This form of anemia at the time caused heart damage, so I also have to see a cardiologist. The heart failure is very minute, nonetheless it's heart failure. So I'm also on 2 medications to take care of that as well. Once all of this is said and done, the cardiologist believes that I'll be fine and I won't have to take the medication any longer, because I was healthy, I was working out. And even though I'm going through what I'm going through now, I continue to work out and I continue to be healthy. So it did take me a long time to start feeling like myself and being released from the cardiologist to go back to working out. And I want to say it was probably about April, May, that when the medication got reduced, I also started feeling like I can do things, clean my house, you know, things of that nature. So it's been a very, very tough, at this point, 8 months, and it's still not over with. I've never been this vulnerable in my life, and it scares me to think that when I press upload this, because with the exception of having to take the phone call, there's not much to edit. I'm going to put the name of the cancer on the screen. You would have already seen it by this point, and I will try to link some information down below if you are interested in it. But I just want, I guess, to say, because I want to save some stuff for the next video, and I don't want this video to be extraordinarily long. I just want you, or anybody who may be watching this and going through cancer, to know that, you know, it's not a death sentence. It's not. A lot of people who are around me in my village, who loves me, who see me on a day-to-day basis, is like, why aren't you sharing this? For, you know, I'm very humble by it, but, you know, they've planted seeds of, you should be helping people with your story. That's something I've always wanted to do anyway. It's some things that I'm working on that has nothing to do with this, but it is in the form of helping others. And, you know, I guess they see how I handle my situation currently, and they feel like that if people were able to see me dealing with it the way I deal with it, it will encourage others to keep a positive attitude. I have a very strong faith base. I believe in God. I'm not saying you have to. That's my choice. That's my belief. And I hold on to him very tightly and have been through this process, and not to mention my family. But at the end of the day, I'm not dead. I'm going to wake up smiling. I'm going to wake up pushing through. I'm going to wake up putting myself together. I'm going to wake up continuing to vlog and upload videos and do everything that I love, everything that this life is offering to me, because I'm not going to submit to this. I have cancer, but cancer does not have me, and that is the message. If you are watching this video and you know of others who are struggling, it doesn't have to be my type of cancer, it could be any type of cancer. Encourage them, uplift them, motivate them, allow them the space to cry, allow them the space to vent. but try to not, if it's you, stay there. You know, I didn't cry. I cried because he said I was going to be in remission, and I held on to that. I knew something was going to come back, even though I wasn't being pessimistic about it. Something wasn't right, and I knew that. But whatever it was, I was prepared to deal with it, and I get up every day with that exact same energy, is to deal with it. So I don't want to hold you guys too long, but hi, my name is Demetria, and I have cancer. And I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Sorry. But just pray and just trust the doctors, trust in whatever beliefs you have. Mine is God. And hold on to the people around you. And don't be like me and be a secret squirrel and keep things tight-knit. You know, sometimes the very thing us strong people need is others to fall on. I'm perceived as one of the strongest people in my family, but even us strong ones have our broken moments. And sometimes we need to be able to fall with cushion. And if you are a person watching that can cushion somebody, cushion them. But check up on your strong friends, because your strong friends may be secretly struggling. So with that being said, I'm going to get ready to edit this video because it is Wednesday and I'm about to upload it right now. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next Wellness Wednesday video, and we'll continue this talk there. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope that this video will help someone. Make sure you share. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.